Now, yesterday, the House Oversight Committee voted to hold Attorney General William Barr and Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross in contempt for failing to comply with congressional subpoenas. Now, this vote came just hours after President Trump had asserted executive privilege over materials relating to what they called the citizenship question. Now, look, this is, as I've talked before, is a way for the Republican Party to basically reduce representation and resources in certain Latino-heavy areas. So this has nothing to do with the Russia investigation. This has everything to do with, of course, the census coming up in 2020. Now, people who are not citizens, if there is a citizenship question, would not be counted by the census, despite the fact that they are physically there in that area. Now, in case you only think that this might affect undocumented immigrants, and therefore are like, good, they're not citizens, they shouldn't get counted. No, it also affects dreamers, people who will be citizens, people here on work visas, who are here legally, and those who are working towards getting their citizenship, but haven't yet. And also just simply legal residents who are, yes, here legally, but also are not considered citizens of the United States. They are physically here and in a lot of cases legally here, but according to the census, if they ask this question, would not be counted as being here. It's almost as if that they don't actually exist. Now that, of course, is preposterous, and what it's designed to do, the citizenship question, is designed to help Republicans gerrymander their districts. Now, the census happens every 10 years, and the information gathered by the census helps lawmakers draw districts, congressional districts, which, of course, leads to different amounts of representation. So now, if you take away certain citizens and non-citizens, certain people, I should say, away from the count in the census, then these areas would lose a lot of their power, lose a lot of their representation, because these people wouldn't be officially counted, even though they're actually technically there. Okay? Less people in the census in the area, less representation. Now that, of course, would hurt places like California, Texas, anywhere there's a large Latino or immigrant population. And that's the whole point. So now, that's why critics want to keep the citizenship question off the 2020 census. And that's why Republicans like Donald Trump want the citizenship question on the census, so that they can gain, of course, more power. So now, what congressional Democrats were doing in the House is saying, well, we want the information, we want these documents that basically will show why they want the citizenship question on the census so badly, which, of course, I'm assuming would have some sort of damaging information or show that they're trying to illegally put this question on the census for political reasons. Now, after the and of course, William Barr doesn't want to give that information to the House Democrats, and so that led to Trump doing executive privilege, which led, of course, to this vote to hold Barr and Ross in contempt. Now, after that vote, Trump comes in, says this, quote, "Unrelated to Russia, although the radical left doesn't use the name Russia anymore since the issuance of the Mueller report." By the way, the so-called radical left actually was not in favor of what is considered to be Russiagate. That's more of the establishment Democrats. That's more of the centrist Democrats that talked a lot about that. To be fair, and there's a few people that would be considered on the radical left, like me, that did talk about that, and thought that there were certain aspects of that story that were actually really, really important, like, I don't know, the obstruction of justice. But anyway, moving on to that, he continues. He says, House Committee now plays the seldom used contempt card on our great AG and Secretary of Commerce, this time on the census. He said the Democrats are playing a much tougher game than Republicans did when they had the House majority. They're playing much tougher. Hilarious. That's not true at all. He also added, Republicans will remember. You know what's funny about this contempt vote? You had Justin Amash, he's a Republican in Michigan, more of a libertarian, joining the Democrats in voting for contempt. Justin Amash also believes that we should bring impeachment towards Donald Trump. Now, here's a Republican who's actually principled enough to say, this guy definitely has done things warranted of impeachment, and we should actually hold him accountable. Now, I don't agree with a lot with Justin Amash, but it did take some balls to come out and take that position, and also to agree to hold William Barr and Wilbur Ross in contempt. So again, here's Amash reaching across the aisle to start to hold people accountable. Keeps that up, I might actually like him. Okay, anyway. Now, as far as the statement of Republicans playing, or Democrats playing so much tougher than Republicans, I'm sorry, are you living in the same reality? Democrats play patty cakes with the Republicans, while Republicans come with a shotgun. Do you forget all of the investigations that Republicans launched while they were in control of the House during the Obama years? Numerous investigations. Benghazi is one of the big ones. But of course, he either forgot about them or he doesn't care because he lies all the time. Now, Trump in a subsequent tweet said that because of all this, the Democrats are getting no work done on drug pricing, infrastructure, and many other things. You know what the first thing the Democrats in the House did? They passed an anti-corruption bill, which was actually surprisingly strong. Now, what happened with that? You might want to go check the Senate. You might want to talk to Mitch Grim Reaper McConnell. Hey, I didn't come up with that nickname. He came up with it. He said, you should call me the Grim Reaper because any legislation that comes across my desk, I will not take it up. I will effectively kill it. Besides, didn't you say you were going to do something on drug prices? That you were going to lower drug... I'm going to do something on drug prices, and I'm going to lower them significantly. Well, now what have you done? Oh, right. Nothing. Nothing. And you have urged the Republican Party to do absolutely nothing. Now, what about infrastructure? Well, the Republican infrastructure plan is a complete joke. Unless you love toll roads, which this plan is full of, then you're not going to like the Republican infrastructure plan, which basically consists of selling off our public roadways to multinational corporations who, of course, are under a legal obligation to maximize profit, which means if you let these corporations own the roads, they're going to make a profit from you by putting up toll booths everywhere. I mean, they'll love that, but I'm pretty sure you won't. I know I won't. So the whole thing, of course, more and more projection. Now, the reality is, of course, the House is trying to do their part in holding this incredibly corrupt administration accountable. And Trump, along with his lackeys, hate them for it. And that's the unfortunate truth. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent, progressive media.